In this video, we are going to learn how generative AI produces output that mimics human creativity. So let's start our tutorial by understanding human creativity first. So human creativity is the ability to think of new ideas, express emotions, and create things that are original and meaningful. It can be seen in writing, music, painting, storytelling, or even in solving problems in new ways. So creativity is not about copying what already exists but about combining different thoughts, experiences, and knowledge to form something fresh. Humans are able to create you because they observe the world, learn from experience, and use their imagination to bring something new into life. Now, when we talk about generative AI mimicking human creativity, we are talking about how machines try to do something similar by learning from the data and generating new outputs that look like they were made by people. So, how generative AI learns patterns from the data? Generative AI systems are trained on large amounts of data such as books, music files, paintings, videos, or computer code, as we said in our earlier videos. So, the goal is not to memorize this data but to understand the patterns inside it. For example, in the case of language, the system learns how words are used in different sentences, how grammar works, how ideas are connected, and how emotions are expressed. In the case of images, it learns about colors, shapes, and how objects are arranged. So, this deep learning helps the AI to recognize the style, tone, and structure of creative work. So, the more data it sees, the more complex and realistic its understanding becomes. So, use of advanced models like transformers. So to perform this task, generative AI uses special models called transformer models. So actually these models are designed to look at the input data from different angles and understand how the parts relate to one another. For example, when generating a text, a transformer model can look at not just the last word but all previous words to decide what should come next. So this helps the system to build complete thoughts, follow logic, and sound natural just like a human would write or speak. So these models are capable of learning deep connections and context, which is very important in human creativity. So I know this information would be like not sufficient to know how generative AI produces output that mimic human creativity. So I explained in detail about transformer models and other things in my other course called generative AI. So, but now let's concentrate on understanding what is generative AI and its applications, right? So now let's see generation of new content. So after learning from the data, generative AI uses its understanding to produce new content. So the output is not copied word for word or image for image from the training data. Instead, the AI mixes different ideas it has learned to create something original. If it is asked to write a story, it doesn't pull out an old story, but it creates a new one using the patterns it knows about storytelling. If it is generating music, it uses its knowledge of melodies and rhythms to make a new tone. It mimics human creativity by combining knowledge, structure, and style in new and unique ways. Fine tuning and style control. So, generative AI can also be fine tuned to follow a particular style. For instance, if it's trained more on classical poems, like our generative AI is trained more on classical poems, then our AI model will start generating poems that sounds like they were written in that style only. So this is how it mimics the creativity of specific authors, artists, or composers. It does not just create at random, but it can follow instructions like write in a happy tone, draw in a cartoon style, or compose a sad melody. So actually this ability to follow styles and moods make the AI's work feel closer to human-made creations. But in some cases, we need to use our AI model for a specific task. So in that case, what we can do is we can fine tune a generative AI model. So we can give our own data and we can fine tune that generative AI model and we can use that model for our particular task. So now let's see some of the limitations in true creativity by Gen AI applications. So even though generative AI can produce work that looks creative, it is important to understand that it does not feel emotions or have real experiences like humans do. So it does not understand beauty or meaning in the same way we do. Its creativity comes from learning and pattern recognition, not from imagination or personal thoughts. So while the results may look similar to human creativity, the process behind it is very different. It is more like an advanced tool that can simulate creativity based on what it has learned. Now let's see some of the collaboration between humans and AI. So one of the most powerful uses of generative AI is when it works together with humans. It can help writers to overcome writer's block. It assists designers with fresh ideas, or it supports musicians in creating beats. So instead of replacing creativity, generative AI can enhance it. Humans bring the emotion, purpose, and judgment, while AI brings speed, suggestions, and variety. So this combination of human thinking and AI capability leads to more efficient and often more inspired in creating work. So now let's summarize what we learned in this particular video. So generative AI studies massive datasets to understand language or music patterns. So generative AI models uses advanced models like transformer models that understand context, tone, and structure. So generative AI models output a mixed learned ideas to create fresh content, not just copy ones from the training data. So generative AI can follow emotional tone, specific writing, or artistic styles. And generative AI does not have real imagination or emotions like humans do. So generative AI supports human creativity rather than replacing it. So if we want to use a generative AI application like ChatGPT, what we need? So we need a prompt. So what is a prompt? And about prompt, we are going to learn in the next video.